Here's a viewer question from West Island Cycling. This sounds like a subtle advertisement for some business called West Island Cycling. You can talk to whoever does promo for this show. Anyway, why was Andrew Hammond even in the American Hockey League when he has a career .924 save percentage and a .228 goals against average at the NHL level?
Well, the thing with goaltenders is there's only 2 spots, and it's a very competitive position. And it's one of those ones that you also have to play a lot to constantly, be in the rhythm, not get cold. And, that's kind of like what happened with Andrew Hammond. And I think it's a great pickup by the Montreal Canadiens right now because they needed a guy like him, someone that has the experience playing in the NHL, is also a goaltender who has played a lot in the AHL as well, and that could come into a game. We saw the game against the Winnipeg Jets. Things weren't working out with Samuel Montembeault, and he was able to come in. He's also 34 years old as well, so he's been around the block. Things don't shake him the way that a younger goaltender would, but I think it's just the circumstance of that position when it comes to Andrew Hammond.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Jess, there's only 64 goalie jobs in the NHL. They're hard to find, and he's had injuries also. You look at his stats at Hockey DB or whatever, and like he's always been pretty good, but I think he's been hot and cold too. Hot and cold with some injury issues, and but he's played well with the Canadiens since he's come here. He's impressed me, and and plus goalies are different characters, right? Rick knows that better than anybody. They're a different breed of people, but I'm happy to see him get a chance and make the most of it. But I think it's just injuries, maybe a little bit inconsistent. Lack of spots, as Jess said, he's a little bit older. But he's found a good spot now as a backup with the Canadiens, and you wonder if it might lead, if he can play well for the rest of the season, if it might lead to a backup spot with him somewhere else in the NHL next season. But I'm happy for him. He's done well. He had a 2-way contract, so he's getting NHL money now, playing with the Canadiens. But goalies are a different breed.
Yeah. And he's been given a chance. 34 years old, and has responded really well. Unfortunately, like everybody's touched on, there's only so many jobs out there, and a lot of them, slip through the cracks and don't really get a good chance. And he's a classic example. He's played 58 games in the NHL. He's serving well as a backup, and good for him. And he seems to be well liked and seems to be doing the job. So listen, he's kind of paid his dues, because if you check to see where he's been throughout the country, he's been all over the place between the different American League teams in the U.S. So it hasn't been an easy road. So he's good where he is right now, and it's obviously good to have him for a depth position in the goaltending department.
Yeah, he seems like a really smart guy in the interviews you've had with him, and a good guy, I think, to have around the locker room. And his wife's hilarious on Twitter too. She's a lot of fun. Yeah. So I think it's a good pickup, a really good move, I think, by Kent Hughes to plug that goaltending. Caden Primo obviously wasn't ready for the NHL. Send him back to Laval, let him do some grooming there, and good move.
Jess, did you see on last Saturday when the fans at that Sens Canadiens game threw burgers on the ice?
Yes. I wish I was there. I love McDonald's. I would have picked them all up.
I was there, and I had to hold myself back.
When it was with the Senators and that run he had in the 2014-15 season, I think it was, when fans were throwing burgers on. Can't remember one of his teammates picked one of them up and started eating.
Curtis Lazar. Yes. I mean, in all fairness, maybe picking them up off the ice isn't the smartest thing to do, especially in these times. I'll acknowledge that, but I'm not above getting myself a burger.
They were much better tasting back then. There was more.
That burger was sitting in some guy's pocket for a few hours too, right?
Yeah. Okay. That's true. The more we talk about where those burgers came from, the less I'm more inclined to pull an Andrew Hammond or Curtis Lazar in this case. Anyway, let us know in the comment section how you feel about Andrew Hammond, the Hamburglar, being a part of the Montreal Canadiens. Subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out show, the Hockey Inside Out newsletter, and visit hockeyinsideout.com to watch full episodes.